So while I'm getting ready for my own squatting session here, I've been getting a good few kind of squat related stuff lately from lads mainly that have started out, let's say, squatting with a bar on their backs. Right now, look, if you're interested, if you're serious about strength development, strength power for sport, or just getting stronger for your legs or getting bigger legs, you're squatting. Okay, there's no two ways about it. But look, a lot of people are getting obsessed with this person squats like this, why can't I do it that way? Or if you have a high bar position in your back, if you have a low bar squat position, and what do they mean as well? But this video is basically going to be proven to you how every single body is different, how there's so many factors at play in your squat, but basically hopefully there'll be a few small takeaways so you can get what's the best variation of a squat for you for now, and just to see what tweaks you can actually make to get more out of it, whether that's more strength or bigger legs, for example. I'll show you a bit of my own training and what I mean by the high bar and the low bar and some mobility stuff at play, and we'll have a look at the members as well. So first, let's take a look at a high bar squat, and then I'm going to show you the difference between if I had good ankle mobility, which I'm going to show you in the first video, or first clip, and in the second part, let's just pretend if you crappy ankle mobility, like not good range in your ankles, and how that might look and what might happen in your squat. So let's just say you hit your ankle range here. You don't have any more range in your ankle, so in order to get deeper, you might round over the spine and have an awful hard time coming up. And when you go down, something funny happens, you just feel stuck and you can't really go anywhere. It's a struggle. If that happens to you, you basically need to work on your ankle mobility as a very, very basic, broad term. There could be a lot of other stuff at play, but again, a quick fix for that could be sticking a small little plate underneath your heels to allow that extra range to maybe get a bit more depth out of your squat and just to get a better squatting pattern overall. Again, I'm assuming like you know how to squat properly, movement wise, and I'll link up the videos below in this video as well for that. So if you haven't gone through the goblet squat one or the squatting video I've done before, watch those first. So for this one, I'm using two 2.5 kilo plates, and I'm going to position them in my squat stance. But basically, again, look at it. This is not a video about how to properly squat. It's about little hacks you can put in place, maybe to get a better squat stance out of it. So those are positioned at my stance width, which is for me roughly just outside or just on a shoulder width line, roughly, give or take. So when we have those in place, hopefully I might have a deeper squat. Again, like if you're not breaking anywhere near where your hips are going below the crease of your hips, not going below your knee, you're not breaking parallel is a technical term for it, this might help with that. That's one factor that might be at play in the ability to squat, say a nicer style squat, a nicer technique. But again, the other side of it then is your limb length. If you have long giraffe legs like me, like there's one of the lads here in the gym that's 6'4", the lad at the gym that's 6'5". I have the same height hip as one of the lads who's 6'4". My hip is here, which is high. So when I do a high bar squat, it feels like I'm going down like a fucking skyscraper. It feels like it's forever coming up. So I prefer a low bar position in my back squat, which is going to look completely different, well not completely, but a small bit different to a high bar squat, or to one of your friends will say, for example, that might squat. Low bar is going to have more of a forward lean because you're working predominantly more the posterior chain of your body. But again, have a look at this to see the difference between what it looks like compared to my high bar and my low bar squat. So I prefer that one. I can move more weight in a low bar squat compared to a high bar squat. It looks a tad bit different, but again, I just make sure that I break below parallel with it. The beauty of the lower bar back squat as well is that you can kind of get away with a bit of ankle mobility issues in it as well, because you're sitting more hip dominant into that lift. The last little tip I have is foot positioning. Now, if you are someone that you have a stance, and you feel it when you go down, your feet start rotating out, obviously there could be a lot of things in play. Ankle mobility, hip mobility, upper back mobility are usually the three common areas that we always work on here in every single session with our lads and ladies. But again, if you're someone that the feet rotate out, you find that you just cannot squat deep enough in a closer stance, maybe try a little bit of a wider stance for now to see, can you squat with more control, more depth, more technique overall, maybe even shift a bit more weight in that. Maybe going from this position to maybe a bit wider and angling the feet up more. So when you push the hips back, you're trying to spread that floor open by pushing out the way, you might be able to get a bit of a better squat within it. The idea with this is play around with your foot position. Play around with the back position or the bar position in your back to see, can you actually get a better squat position out of it as well. Have a look at your ankle mobility. Maybe try the plate drill. Have a look at hip mobility. Maybe you need to see a physio as well. So have a look now at the rest of the lads that actually squat here and the different variations and the different styles in the squat compared to arm length, torso length, leg length, stuff like that. And their styles as well. Everyone's different, so don't be looking at a lad thinking I need to squat like him or her. Case in point, lads, number one is Eamon. He's doing a low bar squat here. But have a look at how upright his position is compared to now my low bar squat area and the other lads are going to show you. So here we have Paul again, different style, kind of more of a high bar, lowish bar position. But because of Paul's hip structure, if he goes any deeper right now for his ability, you can see he's just about hitting his range there. So we're going to pull that back in exactly. Kate then is the last example of a high bar squat. Okay, Kate prefers the high bar because low bar for her doesn't seem to be working out at the moment for her. She prefers that she can lift more in the high bar again compared to a lot of the lads do here. Another small little one could be, maybe your breathing is off and that when you get to a level where you're getting stronger, but at the bottom of the squat you're caving in, you're losing that spinal position. There's a bit of forward lean when you come up and you're wondering why your back is crippled the next day. Breathing is absolutely huge to progressing forward. So watch in this how the top of each rep, I take my breath in deep down my diaphragm, lock it in for that breath, and release a small bit of air at the top each time. So maybe it's breathing you could focus on a bit more. Another tip you can take away.